Viktor Frankl, 20 Lessons on Meaning, Suffering, and Inner Strength. You wake up tomorrow and everything is gone. Your home, your career, your identity. Everyone you love has been taken from you. You're stripped of your name and reduced to a number. You're starving, freezing, surrounded by death. Most people would break. Most people would lose themselves completely. But what if, in that moment, in that absolute darkness, you discovered the one thing no one could ever take from you? What if you found a freedom so powerful that it turned suffering into meaning, and despair into purpose? This is not a fantasy. This happened. And the man who lived it didn't just survive. He transformed his nightmare into one of the most profound philosophies of human existence. His name was Viktor Frankl. And today, you're going to learn how a man who lost everything discovered the one thing that makes life worth living. The lessons you're about to hear will change how you see your problems, your pain, and your purpose. They will show you that you are stronger than you think, and that no matter what you're facing, you have a choice that no one can take away. Let's begin. Who was Viktor Frankl? Viktor Emil Frankl was born in Vienna, Austria, in 1905. From an early age, he was fascinated by the human mind. As a teenager, he began corresponding with Sigmund Freud, the father of psychoanalysis. By his 20s, Frankl was already developing his own ideas about psychology, focusing not on the past or on pleasure, but on meaning and purpose. He became a neurologist and psychiatrist. He worked with suicidal patients. He saved lives by helping people find reasons to keep living. But in 1942, everything changed. Frankl, his wife, and his parents were deported to Nazi concentration camps because they were Jewish. Over the next 3 years, he was moved between 4 camps, including Auschwitz. His father died of starvation. His mother was murdered in the gas chambers. His wife died in Bergen-Belsen. His brother died in a mining accident at another camp. Frankl himself was worked nearly to death. He was beaten, humiliated, stripped of everything. He became prisoner number 119104. Not a name, not a person, a number. And yet, in the absolute worst conditions humanity has ever created, Frankl made a choice. He chose to find meaning. He observed himself and others. He studied how some prisoners gave up and died, while others, against all odds, held on. He noticed that survival wasn't just about physical strength. It was about having a reason to live. After liberation in 1945, Frankl returned to Vienna. Alone, broken, but not defeated. Within 9 days, he dictated an entire book based on his experiences. That book became Man's Search for Meaning, one of the most influential books of the 20th century. He went on to develop logotherapy, a school of psychotherapy centered on the idea that the primary human drive is not pleasure or power, but the search for meaning. He taught, he wrote, he helped thousands of people transform their suffering into purpose. Frankl lived until 1997. He was 92 years old. His life was a testament to the strength of the human spirit. Now, let's dive into the lessons he left behind. Lesson 1. Between stimulus and response, there is a space. Frankl said that between what happens to you and how you respond, there is a space. And in that space lies your freedom. Think about that. Someone insults you. You feel anger rising. But before you react, there's a moment. A gap. In that gap, you can choose. Most people don't know this space exists. They're controlled by their emotions. Someone disrespects them, they lash out. Someone rejects them, they collapse. They are reactive. They are slaves to circumstance. But when you become aware of this space, you gain power. You realize that no one can make you feel anything. No situation controls you. You always have a choice in how you respond. This is not about suppressing emotion. It's about mastering yourself. It's about responding with intention instead of reacting with impulse. In relationships, this means you don't explode over small things. You pause. You think. You choose your words. You act with dignity. In your career, this means you don't quit the moment things get hard. You don't panic when you fail. You assess. You adapt. You move forward. In life, this means you stop being a victim. You stop blaming. You take responsibility for your responses, and in doing so, you take control of your life. Pause. Reflect on this. Where in your life are you reacting instead of responding? Lesson 2. Suffering is inevitable, but you can choose its meaning. Frankl discovered that suffering is part of life. You cannot avoid it, but you can choose what it means. In the camps, Frankl saw two types of prisoners. Some saw their suffering as meaningless. They gave up. They stopped eating. They walked into the electric fences. They chose death because they saw no reason to endure. Others saw their suffering as a test, a challenge, a chance to prove their inner strength. They endured because they gave their pain a purpose. Your suffering is not the same as Frankl's, but you do suffer. You experience loss, rejection, failure, heartbreak, illness, loneliness. The question is not whether you will suffer. The question is, what will you make of it? Will you let it destroy you, or will you let it build you? If you're going through a breakup, you can see it as the end of your happiness, or as a lesson in what you truly need. If you fail at something, you can see it as proof you're not good enough, or as feedback showing you where to improve. If you lose someone, you can drown in grief, or you can honor them by living with the strength they would want you to have. Suffering without meaning is unbearable, but suffering with meaning becomes fuel. It becomes the fire that forges you into something stronger. You get to decide which one it is. Lesson 3. Your primary drive is not pleasure or power, it's meaning. Freud said humans are driven by the pursuit of pleasure. Adler said we're driven by the will to power. Frankl disagreed with both. He said the deepest human drive is the will to meaning, the need to find purpose. This is why people who have everything can still feel empty. Why success doesn't guarantee happiness. Why pleasure fades so quickly. Because without meaning, nothing satisfies. You can chase pleasure all day. Scroll endlessly. Eat, drink, distract yourself. But at the end of the day, if your life has no purpose, you'll feel hollow. You can chase power, money, status, influence. But if it means nothing, if it's not connected to something greater than yourself, it will never be enough. Frankl realized that the prisoners who survived weren't the strongest or the healthiest. They were the ones who had a reason to live, a loved one to reunite with, a book to finish, a mission to complete. Ask yourself, what is your reason? What makes your life meaningful? It doesn't have to be grand. It can be raising your children well, creating something valuable, helping others, building something that lasts, becoming the best version of yourself. But you need a reason. Without it, you drift. You settle. You waste your potential. Find your meaning, and let it guide every decision you make. Lesson 4. You cannot pursue happiness directly. Frankl observed something paradoxical. The more you chase happiness, the more it escapes you. Happiness is not a goal. It's a byproduct. It comes from living a meaningful life, from dedicating yourself to something beyond yourself. When you focus on being happy, you become self-centered. You constantly ask, am I happy? Do I feel good? Is this enough? And the answer is always no, because you're looking inward at yourself instead of outward. at your purpose. But when you focus on meaning, happiness appears on its own. When you're deeply engaged in work that matters, you feel fulfilled. When you're caring for someone you love, you feel joy. When you're contributing to something greater than yourself, you feel alive. This is why chasing pleasure leaves you empty. Why comfort becomes a trap. Why easy paths lead to regret. If you want to feel strong, don't seek comfort. Seek challenge. If you want confidence, don't wait to feel ready. Take action. If you want happiness, stop chasing it. Find something worth dedicating your life to. Happiness will follow, but only if you stop trying to catch it. Lesson 5. Love is the ultimate meaning. In the camps, Frankl often thought of his wife. He didn't know if she was alive or dead, but the thought of her kept him going. He realized that love is not just an emotion. It's a way of seeing another person's essence, their potential, their inner beauty. And when you truly love someone, they become eternal in your mind. Even if they're gone, their presence remains. The meaning that gave your life doesn't disappear. This is why love is so powerful. It transcends circumstances. It transcends loss. It connects you to something beyond yourself. In modern life, we treat love casually. We swipe. We replace. We think love is about how someone makes us feel. But real love is about recognizing the irreplaceable worth of another human being. It's about commitment, loyalty, seeing someone fully, and choosing them anyway. When you love deeply, you create meaning. You give yourself a reason to be better, to work harder, to endure pain. Because it's not just for you anymore. If you have someone you love, honor that. Don't take it for granted. Don't let ego or pride destroy it. Protect it. Nurture it. Let it be the foundation of your strength. And if you don't have that yet, become the kind of person worthy of it. Because love, real love, is one of the highest forms of meaning you can find. Lesson 6. Work that serves others gives life purpose. Frankl believed that one of the primary ways we find meaning is through our work. Not just any work, but work that creates something valuable. Work that serves. In the camps, Frankl sustained himself by imagining himself after liberation, giving lectures on the psychology of the camps. He mentally reconstructed a manuscript he had lost. He found purpose in the idea that his suffering could teach others. That vision kept him alive. Your work doesn't have to be grand. It doesn't have to be famous. But it has to matter to you. It has to serve something beyond just making money or passing time. Ask yourself, does my work create value? Does it help others? Does it make the world slightly better? If the answer is no, you're wasting your life. You're trading your time for nothing meaningful, and that will hollow you out. But if your work serves, if it builds, if it helps, then even the hardest days have purpose. You're not just surviving. You're contributing. You're part of something larger. This is true discipline. Not forcing yourself to do meaningless tasks, but dedicating yourself to work that matters. That's when effort feels natural. That's when you stop needing motivation, because the work itself pulls you forward. Find work that serves. Or transform the work you have into something that does. Your life depends on it. Lesson 7. Suffering ceases to be suffering when it is meaning. This is one of Frankl's most profound insights. Pain is unavoidable. But suffering, the mental anguish that comes from pain, can be transformed. When pain has no purpose, it crushes you. But when it has meaning, it becomes bearable, even noble. A soldier endures injury to protect others. A parent sacrifices sleep to care for a child. An athlete pushes through exhaustion to achieve a goal. The pain is real, but it doesn't break them, because they know why they're enduring it. In your life, pain will come. Loss, failure, disappointment, illness. The question is, will you let it be meaningless suffering, or will you give it purpose? If you're struggling financially, frame it as the price of building something better. If you're lonely, see it as time to become someone worth knowing. If you're heartbroken, let it teach you about love, about yourself, about what you truly need. When you give your pain a purpose, it stops controlling you. It becomes fuel. It becomes the story of how you became stronger. Frankl endured unimaginable horrors, but he chose to see them as material, as lessons, as proof that the human spirit is stronger than any circumstance. You have that same choice. Every single day. Lesson 8. You are not defined by your past. Frankl's past was trauma, horror, loss, but he didn't let it define him. He could have spent the rest of his life as a victim. He could have been consumed by bitterness and rage. No one would have blamed him. But he chose differently. He chose to define himself by what he did after, by the meaning he created, by the lives he touched. Your past does not dictate your future. You are not your mistakes. You are not your failures. You are not what was done to you. You are what you choose to do now. This is radical freedom. It means that no matter where you came from, no matter what you've been through, you can start fresh. You can choose a new path. You can become someone different. But only if you stop using your past as an excuse. Only if you stop hiding behind your trauma. Only if you take responsibility for who you become. The past informs you. It teaches you. But it does not cage you. You are free. You've always been free. The question is, will you use that freedom? Lesson 9. Self-actualization comes from self-transcendence. Many modern philosophies tell you to focus on yourself. Find yourself. Love yourself. Be yourself. Frankl disagreed. He said that self-actualization, becoming your best self, doesn't come from focusing on yourself. It comes from transcending yourself, from dedicating yourself to something beyond you. When you stop obsessing over your own feelings and start serving a cause, a person, a mission, you become more than you were. You grow. You evolve. You actualize. This is why selfish people are miserable. Why narcissists are empty. Why people who only care about themselves never find peace. Because the self, alone, is not enough. You need something to serve. Something to believe in. Something to work toward that's bigger than your own comfort. When you have that, everything changes. Your discipline improves because you're not just doing it for you. Your confidence grows because you're part of something meaningful. Your strength multiplies because you're carrying something worth the weight. Stop focusing so much on yourself. Find something worth serving. And watch yourself transform. Lesson 10. Tragic optimism is the only realistic philosophy. Frankl coined the term, tragic optimism. It means maintaining hope and meaning despite the inevitable tragedies of life. Despite suffering, guilt, and death. This is not naive positivity. It's not pretending everything is fine. It's not toxic optimism that ignores reality. It's the belief that even in the face of tragedy, you can find meaning. You can choose growth. You can move forward. Life is tragic. People die. You will fail. You will be hurt. You will lose things you love. This is reality. But that doesn't mean life is meaningless. It means you must create meaning in spite of the tragedy. Tragic optimism is strength. It's facing the darkness and choosing to light a candle anyway. It's acknowledging the pain and deciding to keep going. This is the mindset you need. Not delusion. Not despair. But a clear-eyed acceptance of reality combined with an unshakable commitment to meaning. You will face tragedy. That's guaranteed. But you can face it with dignity, with purpose, with strength. That's tragic optimism. And it's the only way to live a full life. Lesson 11. The meaning of life changes, but it never ceases to be. Frankl didn't believe there was one universal meaning of life. He believed each person must discover their own meaning, and that meaning changes depending on the moment. One day, your meaning might be to comfort a friend. Another day, it's to finish a project. Another, it's to endure pain with dignity. Meaning is not static. It's dynamic. It shifts with circumstances. But it's always there, waiting to be found. This is liberating. It means you don't need to figure out the ultimate purpose of your entire existence right now. You just need to ask, what is life asking of me today? What does this moment require? What can I contribute right now? What is the meaning available to me in this situation? When you approach life this way, you stop waiting. You stop delaying your purpose until some perfect moment. You realize that every moment is an opportunity to create meaning. Right now, in your current circumstances, there is something meaningful you can do. Something valuable. Something that matters. Find it. Do it. And then find the next one. That's how you build a meaningful life. One moment at a time. Lesson 12. Freedom is not freedom from, it's freedom to. Frankl learned that true freedom is not the absence of constraints. It's the ability to choose your response. In the camps, he had no physical freedom, but he had spiritual freedom. The freedom to choose his attitude, his thoughts, his inner stance towards suffering. In modern life, people confuse freedom with comfort. They think freedom means doing whatever you want, whenever you want. No rules, no discipline, no responsibility. But that's not freedom. That's slavery to impulse. Real freedom is the power to choose what you dedicate yourself to choose your values, to choose how you respond to life. You're free to be disciplined or lazy, to be strong or weak, to be kind or cruel, to build or destroy. That choice is always there. And that's your true freedom. Don't waste it chasing comfort. Don't waste it avoiding responsibility. Use it to become someone worth being. Use it to create something worth creating. Freedom is a gift, but only if you use it wisely. Lesson 13. Despair is suffering without meaning. Frankl defined despair as suffering minus meaning. When pain has no purpose, it becomes unbearable. This is why depression is so destructive. It's not just sadness. It's the belief that nothing matters, that there's no point, that suffering is endless and meaningless. But when you attach meaning to your pain, despair dissolves. You're still suffering, but you're not in despair, because you have a reason. If you're feeling despair right now, the solution is not to eliminate the pain. It's to find meaning in it. Why are you going through this? What can it teach you? How can it make you stronger? Who can you help because you've experienced this? Even the darkest moments can have meaning. Even the deepest pain can serve a purpose. But you have to choose it. You have to create it. No one else can do that for you. Find the meaning. End the despair. Lesson 14. Responsibility is the antidote to emptiness. Modern culture often focuses on rights and freedoms. But Frankl believed we must balance freedom with responsibility. He said that the Statue of Liberty on the East Coast should be complemented by a Statue of Responsibility on the West Coast. Because freedom without responsibility is chaos. It's emptiness. It's people doing whatever they want without caring about consequences. Responsibility gives your freedom direction. It gives you a duty, a purpose, something to live up to. When you take responsibility for your life, your choices, your impact on others, you become grounded. You become strong. You stop drifting. This applies to everything. Your health, your relationships, your work, your community. You are responsible for the quality of your life. Not your parents. Not society. not luck. You, and when you accept that, you gain power. Because if you're responsible, that means you can change things. You're not a victim. You are the architect. Embrace responsibility. Don't run from it. It's the foundation of a meaningful life. Lesson 15. Humor and hope are tools of survival. Even in the camps, Frankl used humor. He would joke with fellow prisoners. He would find absurdity in the horror. Not to diminish it, but to survive it. Humor is a form of freedom. It's the ability to step outside your circumstances and see them from a different angle. It's a way of asserting your humanity in the face of inhumanity. Hope works the same way. Not blind hope, but grounded hope. The belief that this will end, that you will endure, that there is something better ahead. In your life, when things are hard, don't lose your sense of humor. Don't lose your hope. They are weapons against despair. Laugh at your failures. Find the absurdity in your struggles. And hold on to the belief that you will get through this. Because you will. You've survived everything so far. And you'll survive what comes next. Humor and hope are not weaknesses. They are strengths. Lesson 16. You cannot control circumstances, but you can control your attitude. This is the core of Frankl's philosophy. External events are often beyond your control, but your internal response is always within your power. You can't control whether you get the job, but you can control how hard you prepare. You can't control whether someone loves you, but you can control how you treat them. You can't control whether you get sick, but you can control how you face it. This distinction is everything. Because when you focus on what you can't control, you become powerless, anxious, resentful. But when you focus on what you can control, your attitude, your effort, your response, you become powerful. This is Stoic wisdom. It's ancient, and it's as true today as it was in Frankl's time, and thousands of years before. You are not a victim of circumstances. You are a chooser of responses. Act like it. Lesson 17. Silence and solitude reveal what matters. In the noise of modern life, it's easy to lose yourself, to forget what you truly value, to live on autopilot. Frankl spent time in profound isolation, forced into his own mind. And in that silence, he discovered what truly mattered to him. You need silence too. Not just literal silence, but mental space. Time away from distractions. Time to think, to reflect, to ask yourself the hard questions. What do I truly want? What am I avoiding? What am I sacrificing my life for? Is it worth it? Most people never ask these questions because they're too busy, too distracted, too afraid of what they might find. But if you want clarity, you need solitude. You need to sit with yourself and confront the truth. Make time for it. Turn off your phone. Sit in silence. Walk alone. Think deeply. The answers you find in that silence will guide you better than any external advice ever could. Lesson 18. Integrity under pressure defines character. Frankl observed that some prisoners, even in the camps, maintained their dignity. They shared their last piece of bread. They comforted others. They refused to become animals, even when treated as such. Others became cruel, selfish. They betrayed each other for scraps. They lost their humanity. The camps revealed character. Pressure reveals who you truly are. In your life, when things are easy, it's simple to be good, to be kind, to be disciplined. But when you're under pressure, when you're scared, when you're suffering, that's when the truth comes out. Who are you when no one is watching? Who are you when it's hard? Who are you when you could get away with the wrong thing? That's your real character. And it's built through small choices. Daily decisions to do the right thing, even when it's difficult. Build your integrity now, in the small moments. Because when the big test comes, you won't have time to prepare. Lesson 19. Life asks questions, you provide answers. Frankl flipped the script. Most people ask, "What do I want from life?" But Frankl said the real question is, "What does life want from me?" Life is constantly asking you questions, presenting you with situations, challenges, opportunities, and you answer with your actions, your choices, your behavior. A friend needs help. Life is asking, will you be there? You face a fear. Life is asking, will you be brave? You're given a talent. Life is asking, will you use it? Stop waiting for life to give you what you want. Start responding to what life is asking of you. This shift in perspective changes everything. You stop being passive. You stop being entitled. You start being engaged, active, responsible. Life is asking you questions right now, every day, in every moment. What are your answers? Lesson 20. Your life has meaning, even if you haven't found it yet. Frankl's final and most important lesson: your life has meaning. Always. Even if you don't see it, even if you don't feel it. Meaning is not something you create from nothing. It's something you discover. It's already there, waiting for you to find it. You don't have to be special. You don't have to achieve something great. You don't have to be perfect. You just have to be willing to look, to ask, to engage with life honestly. Your meaning might be in raising a child, building a business, creating art, helping a stranger, learning, growing, loving. It doesn't matter what it is. It only matters that you find it, that you live it. And if you haven't found it yet, don't despair. Keep searching. Keep trying. Keep living. Because your life matters. Your existence matters. And the world needs what only you can give. Viktor Frankl lost everything. His family. His freedom. His identity. He endured starvation, brutality, and constant death. But he chose to find meaning. He chose to respond with dignity. He chose to see his suffering as material for something greater. And because of that choice, he not only survived, he thrived. He helped millions of people. He created a philosophy that has transformed lives across the world. You will face suffering. You will face loss. You will be tested. But you have the same power Frankl had. The power to choose your response. The power to find meaning. The power to turn pain into purpose. No one can take that from you. No circumstance. No tragedy. No person. That freedom is yours. Always. So stop waiting. Stop complaining. Stop blaming. Find your meaning. Choose your response. Live with purpose. That is the path to strength, to peace, to a life worth living. Frankl proved it's possible. Now it's your turn to prove it too. Live with meaning, and you will never be defeated.